Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, March 11th. We are holding right now a mere few hours before an intense storm system. Actually, it's already developed, but it is expected to collide. It's a southern stream storm that's expected to collide with the northern stream, and the storm is expected to explode after that. The collision will be taking place over in the southeast. Much of this storm, as of now, is centered around the central Gulf states. Its precipitation has brought significant snowfall and wintry precipitation to Oklahoma, Arkansas, parts of southern Missouri, even Kansas, some light dusting and stuff over in northern Illinois. In general, there's been a few inches, nothing that significant. Once you get east of Oklahoma, you get into the Memphis, Tennessee, that area. This system is producing precipitation, frozen precipitation in many areas, and it will continue to do so tonight. Now, the big story for tonight, however, is tonight we get added moisture that comes into the system. There's already Gulf of Mexico moisture in the system, but additional layers get added tonight. In addition, the colder air coming from the Arctic Mamish, an Arctic high-pressure system, an Arctic air mass from the northern stream will be colliding with this low-pressure system along with a piece of energy in the higher altitude, giving the storm much more significant spin as it pulls up the coast. We have a strengthening low-pressure system right now, about 29.8. Now maybe it's 29.7. It will be becoming 29.6 in a couple hours, and then it quickly intensifies. It goes to 29.5, and then it really starts to pick up 29.4, 29.3, 29.2, 29. In fact, the computer models take it out to 28.0, and by Sunday, it's already under 28.0. That's unbelievable stuff. Under 28.0, that's hurricane strength. But for the time that it's on the United States East Coast, it will not be reaching hurricane strength, but the rapid intensification is going to be magnificent and intense. It's going to qualify as a bombogenesis, which is any type of a storm where the pressure drops 24 millibars within a 24-hour period. This thing is not only going to be dropping 24 millibars within a 24-hour period, it's going to be dropping 67 millibars within a 48-hour period. So it's far surpassed any type of bombogenesis criteria. We're already holding almost, if there should be a next category, that's where this thing is holding. Now, the general idea is that whenever you have a storm with a barometric pressure of 29.2 or lower, the expert forecasters say that's when we start to forecast a foot of snow or more. This system is moving very fast, and that might help bring some of those snow totals down. And also the strong March angle sun may help keep snow off the roadways for areas where the snow is falling at a lighter pace. But I think for tomorrow, what's happening here is, I know Baltimore originally and Washington, D.C. were not really expected to get into the action, but that's not so pashut right now. It's not so simple to say that because the cold air is really going quick. And actually, at this point, the storm track looks like it will be a little bit further east, at least a little bit further east than what was forecasted yesterday. The cold air will be making it into the Baltimore area and Washington, D.C. Accumulating snow is expected to fall in both Baltimore and Washington, D.C. for the following reason. There's two reasons here. Number one, the cold air is going to be arriving earlier than originally anticipated. The cold air is borderline air. But in number two, there is expected to be heavy precipitation rates. With heavy precipitation rates, we have something called dynamic cooling. There also could be some evaporative cooling. But between the two, those heavy precipitation rates will drop the temperatures, will keep the precipitation as snow, or at the very least, will cause the rain to transfer over to snow. The rain will become snow as we go through the day on Shabbos. What's amazing is that Shabbos morning, so there's a severe weather outbreak that's forecast over, of course, in the southeast part of the storm system, as always. Okay, severe storms, tornadoes. This makes it all the way up into Virginia. But not only that, there is a chance that parts of Maryland. There's a chance that a tornado might pop up in Maryland Shabbos morning. This is right before the snow comes in. So we're going to really have 2 seasons over in the Baltimore area on Shabbos to wake up. It's going to be, spring, maybe even a summery feel to it, especially with those higher dew points. And winter takes over full force in the afternoon and evening. As of now, it looks like there will be some accumulating snow in Baltimore, probably 1 to 3 inches north and west of Baltimore in the northwest suburbs. Realize this, though. The storm track is going further east. If that trend continues, which a lot of times it does, once there's a trend that starts, this is called forecasting the forecasts, forecasting the forecasting models. And there's something behind this, that once the forecast models start to take a storm further east, they continue to do so. So as of now, it looks like there might be a dusting or so in Baltimore or Washington, D.C. If we wanted to go ahead and forecast the forecast models, then there's an argument that could be made to say that Baltimore and Washington, D.C. might end up in the same area that the northwest suburbs are in right now, which would be 1 to 3 inches. And in fact, if you look at the AccuWeather Wintercast forecast, it says a dusting to an inch. But if you look at the Wintercast, you'll see that in order to hit 80% is called expected. If something's under 80%, you can't really say they expected it. If there's less than an 80% chance for something happening, and it never happened, so they didn't really get it wrong. But at 80% already, that's enough for the National Weather Service to word it as it's going to happen. They don't even tell you there's a chance. In order to get it to 80%, the accumulations have to go up to 3 inches, and I think this might be why. So the Baltimore right now looks like a dusting to an inch, but it could end up being in the 1 to 3 inch zone if the storm track continues to go further east. I know the snow lovers are listening and hoping and wishing that the storm track goes even further east and Baltimore ends up in the 3 to 6 inch storm area, or even further east, 6 to 12 inch, or 12 to 18, or 18 to 24. There is an area right now, I mean, that's not the forecast. Forecast is a dusting to an inch, but some areas might end up in the 1 to 3 inch area. The forecast right now is that there will be places that will be getting 6 to 12 inches, some areas 12 to 18. And if this storm would just stay put for a second, the snow would be, accumulations would be much higher. Some areas may already be getting up to 24 inches, even though the storm is moving so quickly. They still might be getting around 24 inches in certain spots. Blizzard conditions are expected. For real, not near blizzard conditions. Places in upstate New York, parts of western New England, real blizzard conditions are expected. There are no blizzard warnings. There are no blizzard watches that I'm aware of. But I believe that as we get closer to the event, the National Weather Service will issue blizzard warnings because these are actual blizzard conditions. It's impossible for the wind not to be as strong as it can possibly be. When you have the storm is intensifying at the heaviest rate possible, if this type of rapid intensification of low pressure does not produce the winds necessary for a blizzard, I really don't know what will. Plus, you have the heavy moisture coming from the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. You have a brutally solid Arctic air mass. I don't know whether expert forecasters, whoever they are, forecasting blizzard or not, this is the perfect setup for a blizzard. When you get up into upstate New York and New England, that's when all of these three variables really collide into its own entity almost, called a blizzard. So I'm expecting the National Weather Service to issue blizzard warnings for places in New England. Boston might not get a thing. They might not get a thing. Boston, remember, Boston's further east. Boston's much further north than Baltimore. So you would think if Baltimore gets it, it's like Kavachaimer that Boston should get it, but it's not, because Boston's further east. And these really strong storms tend to go north and not northeast. So this one's going really, it has enough spin to it that it's almost going to be able to counteract that I shouldn't say the westward movement of these storms. When it has enough spin, it's able to counteract that, and it's able to go directly north. And this is that type of a storm. So Boston might actually remain out of the snow for at least the most part, maybe at the very back end, unless the storm track takes it further east. Everyone enjoy your Shabbos out east, and this, you never know, could be the last snow of the year. We are late in March, and remember, for the people who hate the snow, that especially for the mid-Atlantic area, warm weather, real warm weather is just around the corner. It makes a comeback quite quickly. The ultraviolet index is going way up. We really have tropical sunshine in the area, and even when temperatures are 32 degrees and cloudy, that tropical sunshine still will cause the snow to melt on roadways, all because of that tropical sun, even with cloudy skies. It really has to be night or very cold, or the snow has to be falling down at a quick rate for there to be accumulation on snow this time of the year. Thank you very much for listening. I wish everybody a great Shabbos.